Toastmaster Kimberly. We started our journey together, and I see you almost caught up with me. Over to you, Toastmaster Kimberly.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We're all meant to shine as children do. It's not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. This was an excerpt taken from Nelson Mandela's inaugural speech. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
I would like to share with you how I conquered my deepest fear. Well, I've taken you on a journey of my decision to join Toastmasters, and then on to how I survived the worst year of my life, and finally we'll conclude with my favorite inspirational speech that I say to myself when life kicks me down. My decision to join Toastmasters wasn't easy. I was one of those guests that kept sneaking in and sitting all the way in the back of the room in the hopes that you guys wouldn't see me. All my life, I have suffered from a huge inferiority complex, low self-esteem, and have battled innumerable fears. That night in August, Thursday night, 2010, I remember sitting in my little green Pajero watching you Toastmasters go into that Woods furniture showroom. It was, let's see, Toastmaster Greg, you were there, Toastmaster Abraham, Toastmaster Ingrid, and Toastmaster Ushani. While I was sitting there doing an indecisive dance in my head, should I go into this Toastmaster meeting again? Or should I just leave? I wanted to leave and stay in my safe and comfortable world of stagnation. Then I heard this little voice say, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. My favorite quote by Albert Einstein. Then I recall reading in The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind that courage is taking action in spite of fear, by T. Harv Eker. I always thought courageous people had no fear. I made a decision to keep moving forward. I pried my hands off the wheel of the car, shut the car off, and I bowed my head and I prayed for courage. God, give me the courage to go back into that Toastmaster meeting. I ran inside, went up all those stairs in that Woods furniture showroom, and with my heart pounding in my chest, I became a Toastmaster that night. Now, let's shift gears and go on to the worst year of my life. In 1 year, I lost my mother, my mind, and my life savings. My deepest fear was living this life without my mother. You see, she was the reason why I got up in the morning. And as a result of losing the one person in my life that meant the world to me, I plunged into depths with my grief and depression, that it was like a never-ending abyss where there was no escape. It was simply transient. To make matters worse, I have been battling with manic depression, which is also known as bipolar disorder, also anxiety I have suffered with coupled along with panic attacks all of my life. I have been beaten to my knees. That year could have been titled, The Darkest Night of Kimberly Parker's Soul. would not have wished it on my own worst enemy. But that little voice inside me that was ever so present and still said to me, Kimmy, you gotta keep moving forward. I didn't know how I was going to do that. But somehow I did it. How, you might ask? I prayed a lot. I lived one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, and sometimes seconds at a time. My deepest fears had come true. I lost my mother, my sanity, and my life savings on poor investments all over the year. In conclusion, now all of you know how I conquered my deepest fears. It is my fervent appeal to all of you in this room that you remember when life comes knocking at the door of your life, your deepest fears, I want you to remember, and they're going to come, I want you to remember to keep moving forward. And if you are so low that you don't hear that little voice, hopefully you'll remember my loud plea to you in the form of Rocky Balboa's speech to his son, which happens to be my favorite inspirational speech that I say to myself in front of the mirror when life kicks me down. But somewhere along the line you change. You stop being you. You let people or life stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when life got hard, you started looking for something to blame. Like a big shadow. I'm going to tell all of you something you probably already know. This world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. And I don't care how tough you are, it will kick you to your knees and leave you there permanently if you let it. You, me, nobody's going to hit as hard as life. And it ain't about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much can you take? And keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Because if you are willing to go through all the battle you got to go through to get to where you want to get, who's got the right to stop you? Maybe you guys got something you want to finish. Your first icebreaker speech. Something you want to do. Achieve Competent Communicator. Something you want to say to somebody. I'm so scared of joining Toastmasters. Can you please help me? Something. Who's got the right to stop you? Nobody. It's your right to listen to your gut. It ain't anybody's right to tell you, no, you can't do it. You got the right to be what you want to be, do what you want to do. So if you know what you're worth, go out and get what you're worth. But you've got to be willing to take the hits, and you can't be pointing fingers at him or her or anybody because you're not where you want to be. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, cowards do that. And that ain't you. You're better than that. Toastmaster Abraham.